Welcome, Sports Talk Live for the culture. We are blessed to have some guys I grew up with, Darby Township, 2-5, um, Academy Park, Night Nation. These gentlemen with today are part of Lot B Entertainment. They do a lot of great fun events, and they also give back to the community. They have a big event next Saturday. We're gonna get into at the end of the show. We're gonna find out everything what's going on with Lot B, what's their next move, and definitely about this give back. These brothers are thorough and they give back to the community. I'm glad to have them down here. Lot B, Walt, Shorty, and Aaron.
Yes.
So definitely introduce yourselves, guys.
Walt Reeler.
I'm Aaron, aka Sammy Out. You don't need to know my last name. I know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm Ralph Shorty Crawford.
Okay, Mr. Barbecue. Definitely.
We got a couple other brothers that's not here.
Okay.
Ernest Cross and Baldy Black and Anthony Roberts, Buff.
Okay.
A couple other members.
Oh, definitely. And we got the usual suspects in the back. We got Duke in the building.
Yo, what's happening?
Doug, the good-looking guy.
What's
Doug
happening?
Scott.
What's
How's it going? And fellas, definitely. I'm glad to have you down here on Sports Talk Live for the culture. We talk about a lot of different events, a lot of different teams. I can get some Celtic information from Shorty. What's going on with that?
That ain't important, bro.
We talk about them sometimes, but we need to find out. But the big event that's been going on. One of the hot stories has been with the NCAA and what they came out with last week, as a lot of people have referred to, as LeBron had referred to, as the Rich Paul rule. It was a rule that dealing with being able to communicate with underclassmen, trying to figure out will they be able to, or is it the best move for them to test these NBA association orders? And Rich Paul has gained some storms, some moves. He has a lot of big clients. He really got a strong foothold in with the NBA networking. I mean, he put his hustle in. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
He worked real hard. And a lot of people saw it as the NCAA and the mainstream establishment was a little scared, like, what's going on? We got a young guy, he didn't go to school, and he's got connections. He's making moves. And Rich had wrote an op-ed piece where he had discussed, different things about what was going on. And one of the things that he discussed in this op-ed piece that he wasn't sure, why they made this rule up. And he kind of agreed with some of the parts of the rule, but the one thing he thoroughly disagreed with, that you would need a college degree to be an agent. And he felt that put, artificial boundaries up on individuals that are trying to get where he's gotten to. And he, felt that they didn't need that. I mean, you can come and work for Clutch Sports, internship. That would be the best thing for you to do if you're trying to get into this agent game. And here's just some information that they had passed, but they revised. So the agent must pass an in-person exam, take it in November. NCAA offices must be certified by the NBA Players Association, must be certified for at least 3 years, and must have a bachelor's degree. Rich Paul vehemently didn't think the bachelor's degree was a point that they should be able to make necessity to be there.
Hey, I got one of those things covered up there.
Oh, okay,
so I'll try to tell you, I only need 2 more. It's on.
And definitely. But the NCAA backtracked after he had published an op-ed piece, where, moving back from the necessity of having a college degree. And he said, no, we no longer feel as though that's a necessity, but we're going to pull that out, but we're going to keep, everything else in place. And some of those things is exactly what he had, Rich Paul had agreed with also. So, last week, he talked about, the new criteria. They must pass a test, have 3 years. And he says it's not going to affect him, but it's going to affect those coming before him, and that's why he spoke out on it. What do you guys think? I mean, give me your opinion. The Rich Paul rule behind it, the NCAA pulling it back and getting rid of the necessity for a bachelor's degree. We agree you need some type of skill sets and some type of certification to be able to talk to people. So how do you brothers feel about that?
Well, I'd agree with Rich. I mean, personally, if you look at it, there's a number of athletes that have uncles, parents, brother or someone like that, who's excuse me, negotiating deals, looking out for their best interests. In those cases, they don't have bachelor's degrees. In most cases, their job is just to look out for their client.
Yeah.
That as money wise with the NBA, a lot of stuff is easy because it's slotted. Depending on the picks and what you are,
right.
The money's slotted, so that part takes care of
You're not
itself.
gonna get less than this. You're not gonna get more than this.
Exactly.
It's right.
So to say you need a bachelor's degree, you kind of really know where it was going, you know where they were going with that. So I agree with him. I think it's bogus. It was directed towards him, but it just affected a lot of other people. So I think that's why they had to step in and say, "Look, man, we got to pull this off the table."
Right. Yeah, I think I definitely understand. I definitely believe. I don't believe it was. I believe it was directed at him. It wouldn't have affected him, but it was directed at him, and like you say, to try to stop people from getting into the game.
The next Rich Paul.
Yeah, I think they're trying to minimize the amount of handlers you can have, because a lot of kids, a lot of ball, they got like you said, their family members sometimes, or it might be a local legend in that neighborhood, who's running a rec program or whatever, and he's the handler. He get his gym. Now he want to walk his way in and move ahead.
But you think the thing about it though, that's not for them to regulate. That's for you, parents. The people that are around you that you trust to regulate who has access to you, who you listening to. You know what I mean? So if you are the local legend around the area, and maybe you were the mentor to that kid,
right? So
who's to say that you can't continue to mentor that kid? You know what I mean? But I mean, I understand that. I believe that, like we like to say, I like to say they saw their establishment getting challenged. Like when they first saw Rich Paul come along, they didn't think that he would end up being the titan that he is in the industry.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? So they want to make it tougher for the next Rich Paul to come along to be that titan.
We don't want you in.
Right. And they see that not only did he come in without a degree or whatever, that didn't matter. They didn't care about that then.
Right.
But he had some innovative ideas of getting guys to the league and getting guys their money, and guys, because he can relate to a lot of these guys.
That's the issue.
On a social level, right? So they tend to who you gonna gravitate to? The guy that can understand exactly why you want to do certain things, or you want to the guy that can understand that, hey, I need to take care of my family because we're all broke. Right. But at the same time, you dealing with a guy whose family was all broke. Who can now say, I understand that. You know that I understand that, but this is what you need. This is the way you need to do it. You know what I'm saying? Versus somebody else is just telling you, no, you can't do that.
You gotta tell me the way I live.
Right. They don't understand
my story.
Exactly. And he can understand that. And that's the one thing that they discounted, you know what I'm saying, when he first took over with LeBron. They thought those guys were going to fall on their face and LeBron would come running back to an established agent, and all they did was take it to the top. And then they figured, well, when LeBron is done, he'll be done. But now they see that he's getting he's planting his roots all over the place.
He's empowering players to be bigger than basketball too.
And so now they're going to try to make it harder for that next guy to come in. Because that's only one Rich Paul. Imagine if it was another guy. And he's cornering another part of the market.
Oh, it's coming.
And another guy.
Because somebody did it for him,
And then the NCAA, if you remember this past year, he took one of the top recruits. He was a first round draft pick.
Darius Baisley.
He took him. He was committed to Syracuse. He took him off of Syracuse, got him an internship at New Balance. They paid him $1 million. All he did was work out this year, and then he got drafted. And then New Balance paid him the rest of his contract, which is like $14 million. Because now he's going to wear New Balance as a rookie in the league, and then he still got into the first round.
He was a 23rd pick by OKC.
Right. So now the NCAA is looking at it like, wait a minute, he taking talent from our team.
That's
cutting to our check. Wait a minute, you can't have this.
You're right.
No, you're right. My check.
It's affecting their product.
So now they those guys that been controlling the narrative for years. Are starting to see that, wait a minute, here comes this guy. And not only is he affecting the NBA and where Anthony Davis is going and those type of things, now he's affecting the NCAA.
Sure.
We can't have that.
Sure,
because losing control.
Exactly.
When he left that game this season, he left with his agent.
Definitely losing control.
He walked out with Rich Paul.
Yeah.
He walked out with Rich Paul when he got hurt. He didn't walk out with the trainer.
Right. For me, is I do believe something's supposed to be in place, but like Doug was saying, because it's always good to have educated people around. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't necessarily mean that degree makes you smarter than me. You know,
right.
Like it's people
it's all
around
about experience.
you. Exactly, right. It's people around you. They educated, but they didn't go to college.
Some
they
scam artists that got degrees too.
Right, absolutely. So should something be in place? Yeah, it's probably good to have, whether white, black, Hispanic, whatever, to have somebody that's knowledgeable, that's been there. But at the same time, like we talked about last week, how many times was you ready to go do something, whether it's finance a car, house, or whatever? You didn't have to go to the bank to find that out. You had uncle, you had aunt. Somebody told you something. Right. Last time I checked, they didn't have a finance degree. Right. They just knew. Right. They just knew what direction. And they broke everything down just like a person at the bank would. You know what I'm saying?
And Duke, behind that, it doesn't matter if I went to the person who sold cars. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. But, you've been selling cars for 15 years. Well, I'm here to buy a car. Let me talk to you.
Right.
I could have another uncle with a PhD in physics, but
absolutely.
That has nothing to do with me trying to get this Toyota 4Runner right now.
That's right.
So should something be in place? I think it's cool to have the door open for you to be able to go to somebody that has experience in that field. But if you want to go with, your cousin or your dad or somebody that has experience with a local ball player, then that's your choice to do. Yeah. But should it be there? Yeah, but don't try to regulate, force me into a box where I can't,
well enough alone. There was nothing wrong with what was going on.
Well, we know how they doing that because the money.
Well, I think
you're cutting to their check.
Yeah. I think, and that's what big business you get empowered and you do. If I open up a mom and pop hardware store like up the corner and Sunni and Doug got a hardware store. Lowe's and the big boys are like Home Depot. Like, all of a sudden we start getting these contracts and start popping up over here, popping up over there. They'll be like, does Doug?
People gonna take notice.
Yeah, does Doug and Sunni have hardware certification?
Exactly.
They're gonna be like,
you might have to stop this.
Think about the NCAA, right? They're sitting in the room and they see this kid that went to New Balance, right?
Yep.
Rich Paul took it. Now imagine if Rich Paul had Zion.
Yeah.
And they think about all the money they made off of Zion Williamson this year.
Yeah.
And just imagine if Rich Paul took him and
Ain't
took him
get
to
it
night.
Twisted. He's gonna have one.
Right,
it's coming.
right. And Knight decided, you know what? We gonna pay Zion his $100 million right now. Or we gonna pay him $10 million right now, and he gets drafted in a certain range. We'll give him 150 depending on where he gets drafted at. You going to college and play for the NCAA or the Final Four? You ain't worried about that. So they don't want to pay them guys. So now they looking at it like, I guarantee you, off of this move, they'll start paying guys.
They're gonna start paying.
Yeah.
They should.
When these big time recruits that know they going to the NBA have alternatives where they can go, and they don't have to go to China or somewhere like that. They can stay right here, live their normal life, and make the money.
Be about
because what Brandon Jennings did that too. He was one of the first.
And he said it was
Brandon Jennings was one of the first to just I ain't going to school. I'm gonna go overseas and play, get this 600,000, and then come back.
One of those
but see,
situations
with Brandon Jennings, it was like a thing because he couldn't get his scores right. So he had to go do something. So they didn't look at that like this is gonna be the norm. Yeah, he did that because he didn't have a choice.
Scores out the window if you know it's one and done.
I mean, I would.
You know what I'm saying? So now you
but hold on, that goes back.
But they've been doing that.
But I'm on the quietly. The whole thing that happened with North Carolina, that they only the small schools get penalized, like the North Carolinas, the Dukes or whatever. Nothing really happens to them. But that's always been the case because it's the what I call shamateurism. Where they have to make it look like, we're about school, we about education. Mm-hmm. No, you're about dollars. That's why the NCAA championship game come on at 9:15 and 9:30 at night. What's going to be about education?
That's the same thing about the Fab Five.
How much money they made off the Fab Five? It's time for them to get paid.
Them guys were astute enough to know, and they started to do different things to affect that, so they can even show the hypocrisy. I remember, I wrote a paper about them in college where they started wearing, plain shirts without Michigan or Nike on there. Yeah. Because everything we wear, you selling in the store next week, and we can't get a dollar off of it. Right. So they started doing their own thing. It was sort of a protest, of the system, which is still in place today.
Yeah. What about Ed O'Bannon suing him for his likeness?
Well, he
won the game.
He won taking 15 years.
And what did they do?
They stopped making the game.
But what did they do? He won that lawsuit. Now you got to pay me if you use my likeness. So they stopped making the college video games.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to pay the kids.
Right.
Even though it would be insignificant to the amount of money that they was making from the game maker and from that the game maker.
They can't pay the kids because now if you pay the kids, they didn't violate the contract and scholarship. So it's like you can't win.
They can't outwardly pay the kids. They can't pay them in the clear.
Right.
Not
the envelope.
And we had you could check a previous show to hear about the envelopes.
The
envelopes. University of what was it, Miami, right?
Miami.
No. Marcus Dupree's mom got a house.
That was the crazy.
So where'd that come from?
She went in a house in Oklahoma. Said, put that house on that trailer and get it down there.
Pretty much.
That was back then too, right?
Pretty much.
We got some shout outs though soon.
Oh, shout them out.
We got Miss Lena Toledo joining.
Producer
and director, Mr. Pete Chapman. How are you, brother? David Harper.
Hey,
Derek Tripp out in sunny Texas. Hot and sunny Texas. University of Miami, beloved Jason Hicks.
Oh, Jason Hicks.
Mr. Veronica Woodard, Jacqueline Evans. What's up, cuz?
Hey, Jason, I'm sorry I let that out the bag with the
Terrence Mack, GCC
Statute of limitations.
What's happening? All-American.
Okay.
Miss Tanya Annette.
Oh, thank you for joining us.
The wife.
Oh, the wife.
Relena,
hi, wifey.
You better say hi, wifey.
Malik Winters, what's up, man?
Yeah, you better say hi, wifey.
Roberto Lombardi. Mr. Julian Dunkley, what's up, brother? Difference makers doing some big things on the AAU circuit.
Okay.
Amy Haber. And Miss Annette Price.
Hey, I got one, man. My coach. My
Thanks
old coach
for
from college, Roy O'Neal, man, he looked out for me when I was up there. Young kid from Chester, didn't know where I was going and what I was doing.
Good coach.
Chimes in.
Coach. Yeah, definitely. And the thing about, I think one of the things, and Doug, you had mentioned, and I had flashed on the screen, is the New Balance deal that he bought it for the young kid, which that young kid got. Not only he was working out with New Balance, he was in the integral part of their design of a new basketball shoe. He got to see the inner workings on marketing and how shoes come to production and everything like that. So it's not about when he gets to the league, you know what I mean? When he gets to the league, he's going to know all the ins and outs about shoes and how it works. And he can take that information and say, oh, you trying to get a shoe deal? Let me tell you, I interned for a year with New Balance when they developed their new basketball shoe. Here's the cost, here's this, here's the overruns, here's this. This is the percentage you should be getting, when they tell you all this stuff. So he's educating his clients. That's one of the big things he said. He's not like, oh, I got this, don't worry about it. No, we're going to put you in there for an internship and you're going to learn the business. And I think that's what the one thing he says, I seen in an interview, he said, and it was really, he was talking, he said, Rich Paul, this whole thing with these athletes, it's in reverse. Usually you come in the beginning, you don't get a lot of money. As you get wisdom, you move up the ladder, you develop your business, you develop your entrepreneurship, and 20, 30 years down the line, you in big money, and you done got that wisdom with you. When you come in as an athlete, you get the big dollars first. Yeah. The older you get, the less your contracts get. Right. So you asking these young men to come in at a very young age, blindfolded, and get a whole bunch of wealth at one time, and what can they do with it? And you see the stories, a lot of guys going broke, they gave so much to their family, whatever.
Bad investments.
Yeah. And he can go out and reach out to them and say, look, I've been where you are, I walk where you are.
Right.
It's the whole nine yards. And so I think that's one of the reasons. But I'm glad the NCAA pulled that back. And now we want to see, a fair playing ground, moving up the ladder and give an opportunity, like Draymond Green said. It shows you can get on the cover of Sports Illustrated by not being an athlete. And how many players or agents have been on the cover of Sports Illustrated, African American young men, moving on. And I think that was like a powerful message. Like, look, there's other aspects in this sports than just playing.
Right.
There's other revenues. And Shorty knows I had done some Pinwood games. Working with Rap Carey.
Here we go. Here we go.
Hey, we know that's who cut the checks, bro.
Yeah. So we understand. Cool. No, it's not personal, it's business.
Absolutely.
So basically, one of the things that in having conversations with Rap and what he's trying to do, and actually they're gonna, he's talking about broadcasting even more games. He's working on that now, is to get the kids involved in the other aspects of the film, the production. stats, marketing, promotion. Because if you look, all these leagues, ACC got the ACC channel now.
Yeah.
The Big Ten got the Big Ten channel, the SEC channel. So there's so much around athletics and sports, conversations we're having here, talk to generate revenue. It's just not about playing ball. You can get athletes can open the door, they can see you. All right, you play ball? Okay, good. Now let me tell you about this aspect of it. Journalism, that piece, broadcast. So there's a lot of fields that
a lot of things to get into.
And I think
you don't have to shoot a ball or run a touchdown.
Definitely. Like Biggie said, you either sling the rock or got a wicked jump shot. Yeah. So we passed that, and we can get to the point where you can get your foot in the door and make some moves. And I think that's what Rich Paul has done, and I keep wishing nothing but the best. Yeah. But they slept on him. You know what I mean?
Hey, keep sleeping.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They underestimated him.
They always do.
Yeah. But that's to your advantage, though.
You ain't got it in you. You ain't got it in you.
But they don't see you coming.
Yeah, they're going to underestimate you because of the color of your skin.
Well, you think about it, though. They seen guys come and they seen guys start sports agencies.
Master P.
And flop, right.
Yeah.
And
the Ricky Williams contract.
If you notice, they always try to assassinate the character, and I'm trying to stay out of mentioning Jay-Z because I know we're going to the next topic. I remember when he got Geno Smith and he negotiated his contract, and he negotiated to where Geno didn't get all of his money right away. He got some of his money in the start of the new league year, which was like March, when most NFL players aren't getting any money because they get paid throughout the 17 weeks of the season.
They got to hold on to their money.
Manage all their money for the entire year. So what he did with Geno was he got some of the money during the season, and he I think it was like maybe $300,000 or something that he got in March of the new league year to start out. And I saw stories where the agents were coming out like laughing like, hey, look at this. He's going to defer your money. You want to get all your money now, and it was kind of like they, slandering his name to steer people away from him. But when you thought about it, the way these guys managed it or mismanaged their money, it was actually a good thing.
Absolutely.
It turned out to be a good thing because a lot of these guys don't understand that you get paid for 17 weeks and 17 weeks only. You know what I'm saying? So if you spend all your money, right now in training camp, they not getting paid. They get like a stipend, like $1,500 a week or something like that.
They don't get those game checks till it go live.
So now if you Julio Jones, you all right.
Right.
But if you was a rookie, you made $300 as a rookie, which you had to pay taxes on. You know what I mean? And then you went crazy with that $300, thinking you was hanging out with Julio. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you paid your rent for the year.
And you're a rookie, and they make rookies buy the bottles.
So that was a thing where
3
we
game
talked
checks
about
down the whole
season
ain't even start.
Straight down.
That's where we talk about, though, a guy that come from where you come from that understands your challenges, which you may not know, looking out for you, saying, hey, man, you need to do this and you need to do it this way. Yeah. Same way they did with AI, where they kept a portion of his money till he turned, I think, 50 or something.
Don't forget when everybody found that out, they was he just that. Yeah. When 50 came around, everybody's like, AI.
Remember who was that for the Pirates? Was that Bobby Bonilla?
Bobby Bonilla still getting contract.
That's my hero.
Yo, Bobby Bonilla Day. What's it, June 20th or something like that?
He gets $1.35 million to like 2035.
And it was only
when did he stop playing?
Oh my man, like 20 years ago.
He's a genius.
And it was only off.
It was
only off
contract. It's like Bobby Bonilla Day.
It was only off for like an extra $10 million or something. He's been getting it for like 20, 30 years.
Yes, sir.
He's been getting that money prorated for like
1 point something.
Let me stay on these books
every year.
So
that's right. That's right.
It's like you said, they let Rich Paul.
He's a genius.
LeBron made that move back in like 2006 or something like that. It's 2019, and they're finally trying to make moves because they realize that Rich Paul is here to stay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's here to stay. He's not the guy that's going to come in and
he's giving a better product.
Right.
Not just a better product on the court, but a better product as an entity, as a businessman and everything else.
I think that's why Master P and them stuff didn't work, because they tried to do it the way that the old, the agents of the days is doing it. Yeah. Instead of just handling your business, you one of us. Handle your business.
I think Master P, the contract that he set up was more
groundbreaking.
incentive based.
Yeah.
Where why do I gotta do this and do that to get money. How about I get this money right here?
When you had the top picks, one of the top picks in the draft,
because it's all about the guaranteed money. It's all about
it's everything guaranteed. But yeah, I just want to get the general overall impressions of the NBA as we start. I think it's an exciting season.
Sixers.
Celtics, baby.
10-9.
Gotta keep these guys separated.
I think.
And he's from Penwood. This is Night Nation, baby. You know what I'm saying? This is Night Nation, baby. Penwood broadcast.
Yeah, damn.
Ain't that something?
But Shorty, quick question for you. Because the Sixers are kind of in what the Celtics position was last year. Everybody thought, y'all going to the finals, that's a guarantee. You know, everybody coming back, the whole squad, y'all made it. Only LeBron. The only thing that stopped y'all was LeBron last year. So what happened? And sure, let me tell you something. If you watch the show, whatever, I go back, and this is me. This is my personal opinion. I said this before.
They was who we thought they was. That's what happened. They were who we thought they were.
When Kyrie didn't show up to Game 7 because he had a nose surgery, and like he didn't want to be on the bench in Game 7, even though it was hurt, that was elective. It wasn't like his spleen burst or he needed an appendix or anything like that.
He was gone.
I said, it's no way that team's going to be together. There's no. He came back and tried to come back. Was it the chemistry thing that failed the Celtics?
I believe it was the chemistry. I believe when he came back, he diminished the other younger guys under him because they were so prolific the year prior. You know what I'm saying? They were going to take another step up, but they kind of regressed.
They had to change the role. Yeah, they had to change the role for this dude.
They lost a little
technically, it's his team.
They lost a lot of time.
Yes. Like what's with Rozier?
It messed the whole thing up.
Rozier?
Yeah.
Tough.
Thank you.
Tough, but when you took him out of that role and minimized his responsibility, it's about energy.
He left y'all, didn't he?
He in Charlotte.
Yeah, he's in Charlotte.
They traded him for Kemba. That whole they pretty much traded.
Yeah, but he brought a lot to the. I mean, everybody respected each other on that court. And when Kyrie came in,
and Kyrie don't play D.
He's not a great leader. He's a good ball player, but
Kyrie don't play D.
He's got to work on that.
There's a lot to being the man for the team. Like we said, it's different from being a guy that scored points. If you're going to be that guy, you're almost an extension of the organization, the coach. When you're the best player, you set the culture for the whole team. You're the best player.
Sure.
You know how you act. The young guy's going to act. You know, following you.
He found out how tough that was.
Yeah.
When
he got a call from LeBron. He reached out to LeBron.
Yeah. That was when he found out.
He made that jump shot. You couldn't tell him nothing.
You got owner.
I'm
you
on
got
my own
coach,
team.
and you got the superstar player, the best player. So
I mean,
that's the
and technically the superstar player is above the coach.
Because
you can get the coach fired. You can get the coach fired.
In basketball, the players. Like the basketball,
you can.
It's definitely the player.
He just didn't have. He couldn't. I guess he couldn't reach them young guys, and they felt more of a cohesive unit.
But I thought he sold them out when he didn't show up. They said, "But we went further without you."
I don't think he tried to reach him.
I don't think he knew how to reach him.
No, he didn't know how. He didn't know how.
I don't think he didn't have to. You remember when before LeBron got there, Cleveland was terrible.
Yeah.
So all he had to do was go hoop. You know, he was young. Just go hoop. We gonna lose anyway. I'm working on my game. Then when LeBron come, now that pressure ratchets up.
Responsibilities.
You know, he's putting pressure on you.
On and off the
He's
court.
putting responsibility on you. You know what I'm saying? So that, if you think that's probably why he wanted to leave, you know, and he felt like, man, I don't got to listen to you. I can do it better. Then he went to Boston and found out.
Well, he wanted to be Batman.
It's a little tougher.
He wanted to be Batman.
It's hard to be that guy.
Everybody can't be Batman.
Everybody can't be Batman.
Everybody can't run the Justice League.
Yeah, but that was the thing with our team.
Somebody got to be the Wonder Twins.
It was a cohesive unit. You know what I'm saying? We formed like Voltron when we all played together.
But they was young, so they didn't have a choice. It was more like a college team where they listened to the coach.
They played together.
And one thing Kyrie found out was when you lose, they not asking Jason Tatum why we lost. Or Jaylen Brown. They asking him.
That's right.
How you gonna fix it? How you gonna fix it? And he understanding LeBron faced those questions every night, night in and night out for the last.
Say ain't no fun till the rabbit got a gun.
That's right.
He found that out.
Now who's gonna take that role in the Nets with him and Durant? Because they both the same type person.
Durant.
For real.
Durant.
I don't think Durant got leadership either.
But they both
They
superstars.
got the same type of characters though. As far as leadership with the team.
That might even itself out right there.
Durant's star power is bigger than Kyrie's.
I'm saying, but how do they connect to the young boys?
I think Durant probably can do that.
He probably get a little more respect.
I think Durant can do that by athletic ability. Because one thing that everybody is with him, they scared. Once you got a 7-footer out there doing what he does, they like, oh shit. So that alone will make you like think about, all right, man, let me see. Now whether or not he can grasp, those other guys and bring them in and make them.
I'm curious to know what kind of locker room dude he is.
I don't know.
I think he's garbage.
But he's quiet. He's real quiet. They're not vocal dudes,
That's why I threw that out there, because he was at the Thunder. They was up 3-9. They was up 3-9. He said, I can't beat him. I'm gonna go join him.
So he might have morphed into something else since he's been in.
Yeah, he might have.
Since he's been in Golden State, he's been a lot more vocal since he's been in.
Leopard can't change his spots, right? I understand. That's true. That's true too.
But is he more vocal because I got the squad? Like when you got a squad behind you, that's right.
Yeah. That makes you vocal. I say what I want to say. That makes you vocal.
But now when you by yourself, I ain't got much to say.
See, I still Carlo in the corner. I think he's gonna have these dudes behind.
Now I think he learned.
I think he's gonna speak his mind. I think he's not afraid to speak his mind, and I think just because of who he is, his game, what he brings.
He's definitely a beast.
You can't not respect him if you're on the Brooklyn Nets.
They're gonna be tough.
Right? You can't say
next year, not this year coming up.
You can't be like LeVert and Dinwiddie and these guys and say, man, who this dude think he is coming in here taking all these? Nah, you can't do that. Not when he went to Golden State with Steph and Clay and took the shots he wanted to take. You can't do that in Brooklyn. So I think he's gonna be that guy.
Yeah. Well, we watching him grow up. We are doing that.
Walt, my basketball lifer. This is the question to everybody.
What's up?
Is Ben Simmons going to shoot this year?
Yeah.
He's going to shoot?
You sound confident. Over there. You've been down there.
Not sure. Not sure.
Now, I'm going to say, me and the big guy had plenty of conversations about Ben. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to voice your opinion. That's your opinion. But we've had plenty of conversations about Ben. Ben is going to shoot this year. He you know why? He made a point that I didn't really think about. When Ben was out all last year, if you notice, Ben hit the weights. Ben bulked up. Ben was a big dude. If you see him now, he kind of slimmed down. He's getting more back in the basketball shape.
Can I stop you right now?
Sure.
Is that like this? Can we talk about this jumper?
He's gonna shoot. He's gonna shoot.
His body never been a problem.
He's gonna shoot.
We know his body's right.
We'll trade y'all for a bushel of crab.
I think after this year,
not the bushel. Soon, the bushel.
It's the second time you said that, man. I'm hitting with this mic and keep that up.
Are they number ones?
Oh, definitely number two.
Not the bushel.
Think about it.
Said number two.
Wait till February and he be like, yo, Ben changed this whole thing up. He's like, nah, where that bushel of crab?
When Ben got home, aside from everybody else, his dad played in the league too. Yeah. Sat him down and said, "Son, you gotta shoot."
When did that happen?
They said it the year before.
Yeah, 3 years.
I'm hoping he sat him down, when it was daddy son time and they sharing McDonald's fries or whatever. He said, "Son, you gotta shoot."
Ben 22, man.
He should have been shooting. He should have been at that conversation.
Ben gonna come back this year like Brian. Yeah. And I don't want to hear nothing else.
It's all a progression, man.
We trade him for a pick.
Think about it. He
y'all might not even make the playoffs.
Celtics. Hey, listen, man. I'm hoping to beat him.
Just the fact of him, I don't even care if you don't make it.
I don't even make it. I agree.
That's the whole point with me. It's like
they have more turnovers.
Was Ben an All-Star last year?
Yeah.
So why you sitting here explaining to them about Ben?
Because we talking about a jumper. We talking about a jumper. That's what we talking about.
Listen, we know Ben gonna shoot that jumper.
Not
no 3-pointer. Just a jumper. Just the foul line joint.
Soon we moved it in.
Just the foul line. Just around the foul line.
Elbow.
So y'all sound like me and Sunni last year. There's no way he don't come back and shoot the jumper. Man, nobody gonna beat us when he starts shooting that.
Hey man,
he gonna shoot the J.
So as Sunni's aunt used to say when we were in English class, man, I'm from Missouri, right? You got to show me. Last year I gave him the benefit of the doubt that you don't have nothing else to work on but a jumper.
Did you see that jumper that ended his season this year?
I did. Did I? Man,
he coming back shooting that jumper.
Yeah. I still ain't get over it. You kidding me?
You would never beat him again on a jump shot.
I still ain't get over that jumper.
Be watching.
Yeah, we definitely watching.
Hold on, time out.
He's trade bait.
We down here in enemy's territory in this Dallas thing. Sonny, do you like the Sixers?
Yeah, I like the Sixers.
Oh, okay, I had to throw that out there. You know, most Dallas fans like the Lakers.
No.
All that craziness. I had to check.
I'm just Cowboy Nation. Everything else I'm along the line.
Full disclosure, me and Sunni undefeated when we travel to Cowboys games.
Yeah.
I got the star too. So.
Oh man!
Matter of fact, listen. I'm gonna give you another one. I wanted to go to Academy Park or St. James
because
they had Cowboys colors.
Oh wow!
Yo, Doug, why do you think we chose those colors at Academy Park?
I had no idea.
I don't think only my closest friends know that.
Well, now a bunch of people know.
Yeah. That's out the back. I mean, I'm established. They know I bleed orange and black, but I'm established.
We ain't want you at the park. With all that Dallas stuff, man. Come on, man.
All right,
I think Coach Sal would have took me.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say.
I would have took you.
But definitely,
bike shorts.
So Walt, come NBA season when we do NBA, I'm gonna have you down, got back, so we can talk about that. All right, definitely, because that's the only thing that got me worried. That's the only thing that wakes me up sometimes.
I'm gonna tell you when I really come back.
You ain't gonna get much sleep.
I have intentions. Me and Pay going to either Sixers Clippers or Sixers Lakers in LA.
Okay.
They play Clippers March 1st.
Now you've been to Venice Beach and you missed the LA now all of a sudden. Come on, man.
I looked it up, bro.
Been to Cali like 6 times. I ain't going to no Sixers Clippers game. Yeah, Mr. LA.
But I'll be in LA for one of those
with
games.
a fat burger.
Fatburger was crazy.
Fatburger was crazy.
Good. I haven't heard one, but
and you didn't get the right one.
I got a fat burger. I didn't want an egg on my burger.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
My bad.
You
gotta get everything.
That's just a breakfast. Yeah, you definitely.
it wasn't breakfast, so you know, it's like 4 o'clock.
We was at
protein.
the Green Cafe. You had egg, runny egg.
That was breakfast.
Was it?
Yeah, I had a breakfast burger.
Oh.
There you go. Enlightening. But yo, let's jump into the NFL. The NFL, the big thing. Let's just talk. This is when it gets heavy. Definitely.
I'm curious to know
with the NFL. One of the big things preseason has started. Nobody.
Yeah, I might need another one too, bro. I don't think I'm gonna pass on the scary can.
I'm a fridge over there.
Yeah.
Give me something, not that purple can.
Scary can. The IPA'd up down here.
Yeah.
So
is that what you be talking about?
The IPAs?
Yeah.
I don't drink
What you
that,
got,
bro.
New England.
So
that's good.
Are we just saying Jay-Z? Are we just gonna say Jay-Z?
No, we're gonna talk about Rock Nation.
Rock Nation
and NFL. The biggest story right now is the NFL and Rock Nation have come to an agreement on a partnership. on a partnership.
Appreciate it, bro.
Where it's going to explore some co-promotion, social justice, things of that nature. They had a big press conference. The full details have not been released yet on what exactly is going to happen. But so far, I'll put this up on the big screen. Jay-Z and Rock Nation apparently agreed to a partnership with the NFL that will be formally announced in a press conference in New York City on Wednesday. According to the Front Office Sports, details of the partnership have not been announced, but we'll learn more when the press conference goes live. Tomorrow they were talking, according to the Washington Post reporter, the NFL is forming an entertainment and social justice partnership with JC, making Rock Nation a co-producer of the Super Bowl halftime show. So that's where we are there. Now, of course, there's been some backlash.
Yes.
Just a bit with Rock Nation, the narrative as we get the narrative of the first narrative of what's going on. Clearly, I don't know what they're going to do. Eric Reed didn't feel they should have done that.
He's not feeling it.
Yeah, he's not feeling it.
I'm with him.
And but we all have different opinions on this, so I'll let the guests. What do you think about this partnership?
I think it's bogus.
Okay.
I do. I think it's bogus.
Elaborate.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump in so quick.
Oh, no, go ahead. Yeah,
I think it's bogus. And my reason is saying it is, Jay-Z, everybody loves Jigga, was out here biggest Colin Kaepernick fan. You know what I mean? He's rapping about him in his jams. It's this, that, and the third. It's everything. This deal to me is almost like, all right, Colin, thanks, bro, but let me step in here and I'm gonna go about it differently. You know
I wouldn't be mad at the deal if you went and talked to Colin, like you said you did,
because he didn't,
and he should be part of this deal because he's the one that started it and sacrificed everything.
Sure.
So I wouldn't be mad if he was a part of it. Right. But being that y'all just like
they tap danced around him, dog.
Because it's about, I think it's
because
all
you
about
still
the
letting the NFL win.
They are winning.
Yeah, they
what are you
doing?
The person I believe you should really have in there should have been.
You just said you don't need the NFL.
So this
you need them.
So one thing you'll learn about me, y'all, I don't know if y'all listened to the show before, is I'm always the devil's advocate on the show. So I'm always gonna go against the grain,
that's
right?
Normally
so like we said, when LeBron went to Miami, everybody jumped on him. He teaming up. That was the narrative. Magic wouldn't do it. Bird wouldn't do it. But then what you realize, 8 years, however many years later, is what he really did was give control to the players. They can pretty much go where they want to go.
Yes,
right. So now, like even
did.
Durant called him out when he did it, but then he turned around and took that control.
Yeah.
And took a 2-year deal, a 3-year deal, a 2-year deal.
With
and they
the
took
team that had him 3 down.
And they took deals, right? They took deals that coincided with the salary cap going up. So they actually made more money by doing that. So it wasn't about him teaming up. Maybe it was a little bit, going with Wade and them wanting to win. But in reality, if you remember, all those guys took 3-year deals. Carmelo Anthony took a 5-year deal.
Yeah,
Who got stuck?
Melo did.
Carmelo got stuck.
They
made more money, right? So, but my point in saying that is, when the move first happened, the only thing we heard was this is unheard. This is terrible. He's teaming up. He's a coward. He's this. He's that. He did Cleveland wrong.
Yeah,
nobody mentioned about that. Hey, he just gave all the power to the players. He just showed the players how they can have power and get to where they want to go.
And every 3 years, that salary cap goes up.
Nobody discussed that part of the issue, right? Mm-hmm. So just like then, right now, all everybody is talking about is he's doing Kaepernick wrong. Now, the way I see it is he's saying this about the money for Jigga, which, okay, no doubt.
We
understand that. Everything he does, he makes money on.
Because everything else runs the marathon.
But at the same time, Kaepernick is the one that was blackballed. Mm-hmm. Kaepernick, the last time I checked, took a settlement from the NFL. He didn't continue to fight and say, no, we're going to go to court. I want to have a trial so everybody can see the transcripts of what y'all did to me.
Right.
He didn't do that. Eric Reed didn't do that. They took the settlement and they came back, and Eric Reed came back to the league. So now Kaepernick is out of the league, right? So it's been 3 years. Mm-hmm. So basically, by saying to me, is it so if the NFL would have said 3 years later, all right, Colin, come on and play, would that have solved everything? No.
I'm not even talking about him getting his job back. I'm just talking about him being involved in whatever he got going on towards the communities.
I agree with that.
That's all I'm talking about.
So here we go.
Community-based, he should be involved, and that's all I'm saying.
This is what I'm going to say right now. I'm going to start with all of us here at the board. Mr. Sunni.
Yes.
If the NFL calls you up and says
they got a job for me with Sports Talk Live for the culture.
Taking it?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
We'll be live
taking the job?
when I be on Press Rug.
I mean, listen,
I'm
taking the job and paying my own ticket to get where I got to go. I'm taking it.
I'm taking the job.
I'm taking the job. I mean, I'm gonna take the job.
Dog,
realistically,
you taking the job?
Hell yeah, I'm taking the job.
I'm taking the job. So, Jay-Z,
but that's because that's us. Jay-Z is different.
No.
He's still
hold on. Let me get into it. We're about to get into it. So, all right. Regardless if he's a businessman or not, it's an opportunity, right? Regardless of whatever he was doing, did he have an opportunity ever to work with the NFL? No. So now it's an opportunity for him. Now, how about this right here? It's not about Kaepernick no more. So let me ask you this. He worked for the NFL. He was employed by the NFL, right? Okay. He took a stand. He sacrificed his job, right?
Right.
Did he get paid?
Yep.
Yes, he did.
So let me ask you this. Everybody, would you, if a job basically didn't want you to be around and they paid you, would you want to work for them again?
No, that's a good.
So why are we even at it? So how about
because he loved the game of football?
Yeah, but guess what? You got paid for that.
Yeah, that's true
and
too.
You sacrificed everything. So guess what's next, right? what you did was you enlightened all of us. Right?
Solution time.
On outside of football. You enlightened us what's going on outside in the communities and everything.
True.
That's what you did, right? You sacrificed your job, you did everything. Tell me another leader. I'm gonna give it's not gonna take us that long, I'm gonna ask each one of y'all real quick if the person for the job, a perfect person for the job that Jay-Z got. I'm gonna just ask you soon. You know another person, real quick, person for the job?
Billionaire right off the top of my head, nah.
Can't, right? Okay. What about you? Right off your head?
It ain't Kanye.
No.
You got one for me? You got one for me?
Nah, you right.
You got one for me?
That's a good question. I don't.
No.
You got one for me? How about Jay-Z's just the perfect man for the job?
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
With him coming in,
right?
What platform is Jay-Z be on in his community outreach?
So how about
overall? I mean, I know his star power, and I respect that. So what programs? But
I think,
how about
one thing I think Jay-Z has been done. He did the
right.
Netflix documentary. Yeah. He's done a lot of things about.
So he's done a lot of social justice things.
Yeah, I wouldn't even.
That's one question I asked him. So that's like, we say President Obama. That's our president, right? So you tell me if Obama does something that some of the people that supported him thinks is questionable, now everything he done in the past is null and void? Or do we say, let's see what happens. Let's see what he's going to do.
And he's the voice that
I just want to see what happens too.
That's what we got to give him. Because here's the thing, right? If they call you, if they call me, if they call any one of us in here, right?
We out.
So about, not even so much that we out, right? We know what your mindset is, right? So you going, being at the person that you are, being at the person I am, all of us here, we going to start putting a plan in place for action, right? So now it's time for the groundwork. You got soldiers, I got soldiers, you got soldiers, it's time to get it in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So what you going to do next? How about he's the perfect person to jump into what we about to do next?
And that's exactly right.
Because he speaks, because like we were talking about before the show, it's 32 billionaires, like billionaires, right? They had a disconnect for what's going on in the community. Let's be for real. They can pay people to do whatever they want to do. Yeah. But how about this? How about Jay-Z can speak their language? How about he can? Our language, their language, and our language. Right. Because it makes for them, it makes dollar sense.
Sure.
Right. And he can talk that.
Sure.
And he's at the table. I don't know if you guys saw did y'all see the Netflix documentary on Clarence Alexander Avant? He's a black godfather.
The black
godfather. I seen that. That was good.
And you remember what went down with Soul Train when Clarence was working for ABC?
Yeah.
And American Bandstand owner was like, look, Soul Train just blew up. I mean, it's authentic. Everybody, black, white, everybody's watching Soul Train. We got to get ourselves a Soul Train. They tried. And they went to Clarence Avant and asked him his opinion on what they should do. And he said, nah, y'all can't do that. Soul Train's authentic, and Soul Train needs to be its own entity. Dick Clark could have had a soul show. We've never even seen it. They showed clips. I ain't never seen that thing.
I never saw it.
Yeah, and I ain't never seen it. We ain't never seen it because it never got off the ground because Clarence Avant from the community, from that had a seat at the table to make that decision because Dick Clark had all ABC behind him.
Yeah.
Don Cornelius was just
and he tried to buy Soul Train.
ABC, the conglomerate.
Yeah. But he put him in a direction that helped nurture and establish Soul Train. And if you watch the clips, Don Cornelius introduces him on the show and said, hey, this man has helped me out immensely in my career or whatever. And that's what Don was talking about. So I think you got to give it time to see exactly what comes out because it's about business. And let's get wrong, it's about dollars. But also,
and I'm gonna go. I'm not going to get into this. I spoke my piece. So I don't know anybody else where, because now that he's in, right? These 32 billionaires, right? I can get to them now, right? I can call them. So when I want to have a meeting, they probably gonna show up. Right? Who else could do that? So now I need action now. We need some action. This is what we're trying to do, right? Because like I said, Dad, we're at a disconnect, right? So Jay-Z has the power, the star power, to connect them to what's going on in these communities because they don't have to care what's going on in the communities. They're billionaires. They got yachts and mansions and islands and all this stuff. So
You see, they do what they want to do. Ask the Patriots.
The stroke of a pen. The stroke of a pen, right? Yeah. To go to DC, to wherever city you want to go to. If them billionaires say, "I need to get in this door," they opening the doors. So that's what nobody's thinking about. Like, they're gonna open the doors for Jay-Z. They're gonna open the doors for these NFL billionaires, and things can get done. They just can get done faster,
right?
And everybody knows that. So let this man.
It's another window, like you from.
So let this man this man get in there. Stop trying to kill him, and because he didn't do anything. Let him have a chance to do what he got to do, and let's see.
I'm in wait.
But he's the perfect man for the job.
So
I can't argue that.
I'll say this, right? History showing us that no protest has been. What's the word I'm looking for? Spontaneous, right?
Right.
It's not like, something happened, Rosa Parks sat down on the bus and she didn't want to give her seat up. She got thrown off the bus and instantaneously protest happened.
Right.
That didn't happen. And like me and Sunni talked about before the show, most people probably don't know that there were other women that had the same thing happen. Mm-hmm. But the civil rights leaders didn't think that they were good enough to be the face of the cause, so they didn't do it until it happened to somebody that they deemed enough to be the face of the cause. Right? So with Colin Kaepernick, right? This thing, everybody doesn't. I don't think anybody remembers the fact that he had a guaranteed contract when he started this thing. He had a guaranteed contract. The year he started this, he had another year of like $15 million or whatever guaranteed money.
Sacrificed for the cause,
and he opted out of that contract. He opted out of guaranteed money for an opportunity to play that year, like get on the field. He was on the team getting paid. So he made a deal. I'll cancel the last year of my contract. Mm-hmm. That I'm getting guaranteed $15 million or whatever it was if you let me play now. Why would he do that?
He loved the game.
Why would he do that? But he's guaranteed $15 million.
Passion for the game.
So he played that year, and then after that year, he knew he wasn't going to get signed on the team. Mm-hmm. He knew he wasn't going to get signed on the team. So it's kind of like to say that, if they're going to blackball you, he wanted that. Remember that other league started. They offered him money to play.
Yes, they did.
He didn't take it. So if he loved the game, why wouldn't he just go play? If he just wanted to play and that was all that mattered, why not just go play? Right? Because it was more about the NFL and his protest and showing them that, this is what they're doing to me. This is what they can do versus wanting to play and be on the team.
CBL or CFL.
Well, they offered him, but he wasn't on the team.
Ain't the NFL,
it's
though,
not,
man.
It's not the NFL. It's not the NFL, but they offered him $1 million and to play. It was a 3-month league.
Still getting paid to play.
He would have got $1 million to play in that league.
3 months.
It was in the off season of the NFL, so it's not like it was against
you.
him.
Want to wrestle in the WWF or the USW?
I'm just saying. I agree with you. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah. But it was other players. That was a way that other players played in that league, and guess what? They on NFL rosters right now because of what they showed in that league. You know what I'm saying? So now, what did everybody say? Oh, he stinks. He can't play, even though his numbers was his numbers. But he hadn't. Nobody seen him play.
He got to the Super Bowl.
I agree. He could play. He could play in the league. We all know he could play in the league.
Backup, definitely.
Let's say he stepped on that field and he kills it.
He can start.
How can they now say isn't that more? If he stepped, if he stepped on that field in that lower league and he killed it. Isn't that more ammunition to say, look, I should be in the NFL. Look what I'm doing to you. I'm toying with these guys.
I.e. Warren Moon.
But that wasn't the agenda for him. Right. He don't want to play in the NFL.
Right.
He's staying in shape. Yeah, maybe so. He knows nobody's going to sign him. He doesn't want to play. He's getting played by Nike. He got his settlement from the league. He gave up his guaranteed. Why would he? Who gives up guaranteed money without knowing where their next money coming from? Nobody. Right. But he knew Nike was giving him that money. That was kept a secret until they put that commercial out 3 years later. That was kept a secret that Nike was still paying him.
Yeah, he
right?
was under contract.
Everybody just thought he couldn't get a job and he's not getting paid and this ain't right. But the whole time he was getting paid millions by Nike. And then they sprung it on us in the Super Bowl. And we found out he'd been on the payroll ever since he left the team. Oh, that's why he gave up that guaranteed money to take the protest and get on the field.
If nobody wants to, if they don't,
I'm not knocking Colin Kaepernick. Don't get me wrong. I know it sounds
He just hustled the world. That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is the protest. That my point in being that was with the Rosa Parks thing is that it doesn't just come from nothing.
No, I agree.
It comes from something. So it wasn't like he just sat. It wasn't like he just was at home with his chick and said, "You know what? I'm going to take a knee or I'm going to sit down on the national anthem the next day for this reason."
You got to calculate for the most impact.
That was in the works.
Right.
Yeah. He talked to somebody else before he did that. He talked to somebody else before he did.
He got more money now than he ever.
My point exactly. Yeah, so the fact that people killing Jay-Z saying that, well, you took this deal and Kaepernick don't have a job. What difference do it make if Kaepernick got a job when jokers is still getting killed in the street? So Kaepernick get hired back on the team. Him, Eric Reed, Stills down in Miami. All these guys keep taking knees. And we still see videos of jokers getting killed in the street.
So
what's those knees doing for us?
And that goes back to
what are they doing?
This thing being taken to the next level, right? Okay, he kneeled, right? He brought all this attention, the social injustices, everything that's going on. Okay, so what's next?
One thing I saw happen was Meek Mill couldn't get out of jail until he got Kraft and the Sixers owners and all them jokers behind him. Now they talking about changing laws.
Back to the billionaires.
I mean, maybe that was just me, but that joker been in the system for 11 years. Jay-Z been on his side for a lot of them 11, and he couldn't get out. And then he got these white billionaires, Robert Kraft, respected Jeffrey Lurie, the owner for the Eagles, Ruben,
Sixers, dude,
all these guys, right? Sixers.
And then when you finally
they jumped on board, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, he got a new trial. The judge has been changed. All of this happened for him.
Wait a minute, did the judge? Did she be miss?
No, they got her out of there. He got a new trial with a new judge.
She told them, I ain't going
nowhere. She did. But that's the power. That's the power of the people with the bees behind their bank account.
Yeah, because they also put him on a new platform in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yes.
I don't care, right?
I heard it's nice.
I don't care what state out of any of these 50 states, right? If these 32 billionaires get together, something's going to happen in any one of these states. It doesn't matter because they the 1%. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And they got 1%. Power. And that's just it. It's the power of the stroke.
You remember, like, Kraft left the spot. They told him, yo, you're under surveillance. Yeah, I'll be back.
You notice how that went right away, right? You know that whole Robert Kraft case went right away.
And that's to our point. You know what I'm saying?
We be on the news right now looking like
still.
And that's to our point. They talking about, that's a crime he committed. He's going to jail. Jail? Are you crazy? What jail he going to?
He's getting
ain't nobody going to jail.
He's out.
Where's
his
Is his jet refueled
yet? He's about to be 80 years old.
I ain't killed nobody.
Chicks. He's not going anywhere.
No, he's not but that's the thing. That's the thing. Like you said, when Meek Mill and them got in that room with them guys, and they said basically, Kraft, for what you just did, I'll be booked. What? You get booked for that? Kidding me? Yeah. Nah, not in America. Kraft for us in America, we will. And when those guys now, like he said, they couldn't relate. And and Ruben, if you watch the Free Meek documentary, Ruben told Meek, man, that don't happen. You tripping.
We all thought
until he actually saw it happening to Meek, his friend. Right. He saw it happening. Then he said, wait, hold up, Nah, we can't. No. And then those guys started putting their power behind him. Exactly. And look what happened. Yeah. He got a new trial with a new judge, and he probably going to beat the case because the stuff was fabricated and all that stuff.
He's already in Harrisburg.
You dig what I'm saying?
They go to billion.
He shouldn't have been. But it took for them powerful people to get behind him.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't matter.
And the thing about it is, we all know, Duke, where are you from again?
Jersey.
What part?
Lawnside.
Darby Township. Darby Township. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I apologize.
That cat from Yale.
Okay, Yale.
No, Eddingstone.
But real quick. We had to get that on record.
But we all know a lot of people that's been in the system. Bogus. I know people that had cases. Personally, I had a case that I took to trial. My civil rights was violated. The judge threw the case out. I know a lot of people that had similar situations, but because they were afraid and they didn't know, they took a deal and went to jail. They didn't know that their civil rights was violated, but it happens every day.
And you know, being from Chester, Delaware County don't play no games.
Media,
they all about they listen.
Well,
deal.
Guess what? And it goes back to the point. If Delaware County can have whatever they have in place, if these 32 billionaires, not even 32, there could be 10 of them. Yeah. If they come walking into Pennsylvania's courthouse or whatever, some things are going to change. And that's just what it is. That's the American way.
You figure, I'm sure any of us know, we know somebody, a friend, a child, a nephew, whatever, right? We know anybody that had a Robert Kraft money and their lawyer behind them, they wouldn't have went to jail. They would have beat their case.
Things would have
They would have beat their case. True. But they didn't, right? They didn't. And they went to jail.
Hey, listen, the NFL makes $15 billion annually. So it's a machine, and it's to the point where it's that type of machine where whatever's in its way is going to knock down, or if it doesn't knock over completely, it's going to be some negotiations, and the negotiation is going to work in the favor of whoever is associated with the NFL. $15 billion a year.
And I give you this one, and I'll be done with it, right? So we talk about Jay. He shouldn't have did this. He shouldn't have did that. Whatever, right? He shouldn't be in partnership with these guys and all these people, right? So all of us could have boycotted the NFL. Right. We could have stopped watching.
I ain't gonna front. If we, I feel you. I didn't stop watching. But one thing I ain't gonna be is right. Ain't no future in the front.
Knowledge what these guys own. Like, I know the owner of Atlanta Falcons owns Home Depot. We could have boycotted Home Depot. We could have boycotted these other places.
Each one of these guys owns
Everybody could have done their part. Right? Everybody could have done their part and boycotted all of these businesses that these people own to get their point across. But they didn't. And now you want to kill Jay-Z for taking...
I was boycotting it. That's what
But we all can agree that, like...
I remember they was trying to... They was trying to boycott France, and they told the brothers that cognac comes from France. and they was like, "Nah, we not that good."
Hold up, listen, I need my medicine to survive.
We gotta work it out.
So hold on. If I stream it, I'm not watching it, so I'm boycotting.
Bogus is out of what?
Oh my goodness! So I guess I was boycotting too. Then I was boycotting.
My brother was pretty. He was relatively good. Ronnie, but the Giants suck.
That's because his team.
I
wouldn't have watched the team.
They did him a favor.
Hey man, we moving in a different direction with this NFL stuff. Hopefully, and I'm hoping that it spreads infectious into our communities, and I hope the. Not as
everybody
well as
make a change.
The NFL as well as the NBA. I hope we get into this change
and I'm
thing.
Gonna give you that. He was the perfect man for the job.
He
was the perfect man for the job.
That was a great question to ask.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I agree with you. Very clear.
That was a good point.
And we're talking about giving back to the community. That's why I got these brothers down here. Absolutely. We want to get into. Lot B.
Popping everybody. God damn.
Hey man, the power of the billionaire might make a change.
That's what I'm saying.
Lot B Entertainment is in the building.
Lot B.
Lot B's in the building. Definitely. These wonderful brothers into the entertainment game, throwing wonderful festive parties and things along those lines. But they also have a back to school get together. So you guys, tell me a little bit about Lot B Entertainment, and we're going to segue because we've been talking about giving back and getting to the community, and that's definitely what you guys have been doing. And you're with your second annual back to school book bag giveaway. That'll be next Saturday at Conway Memorial Park.
Yes.
Right off of Hook Road in Darby Township, Pennsylvania, 1 p.m. until. Can you guys elaborate about Lot B and then segue into the giveaway, the school giveaway, preparing everybody, making sure they're good for the first day of school?
All right. The whole concept behind Lot B just came from us just really just hanging in the parking lot at one of the local little watering holes.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of times we realize when you go out, you go to these places for the atmosphere. Well, we can kind of establish the atmosphere anywhere we go, so that's not necessarily an issue.
Yeah. Well, lean up a little bit.
So with that being said, we'll come out, provide provide libations to whoever decides to come out and hang with us. You know, we just out to have a good time. But it kind of splintered into, you know, looking around the neighborhood. Remember how some of our elders, some of the people before us, kind of gave back to do some things. So, you know, we each, like the book bag drive. That's Short's idea. Short came up with the idea last year. You know, we kind of picked it up and ran with it. You know, the Easter egg hunt was something that we've done for the last 2 years. That was like a group effort, and we got donations from a lot of people. Big shout to Grant and Steph Eldridge last year because they looked out big time. So like we just kind of look at stuff going on in the neighborhood and just try to fill that void with some of the things that we remember how it used to be and how it isn't. So we just try to bring some of that back. And then on another note, you know, we throw the parties and stuff because, you know, we're a little seasoned. You know, we don't always like to be around some of these younger folks all the time. So
I understand.
You know,
because you're for the grown and sexy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You can almost say the very grown and sexy.
So, you know, like we just want to have some stuff for us to have a good time and have some fun, man.
Right.
You know, like and
the double bubble.
The double bubble. And you know, if you can see the shirts, like Brad's kind of came up with the whole little acronym for it, love over the bullshit. And that's really what it is. It's, you know, we out to have a good time, man. We don't have no time for a lot of this stupid extra stuff. So, you know, I let these guys elaborate some too.
Basically, we ain't want to hang in the bar, so we had our own little libations, as my brother called it.
You said
in the parking lot.
Adult libations. Adult libations.
Adult libations. The bar ain't have no air, so we was better off outside anyway.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
And before you know it, the party was outside, and we called it Lot B, and it took off from there.
Yeah, it really did.
Parties, everything, you know. Just having a good time, man. That's
homegrown organic.
So what's that? Y'all having a party and giving the book bags out next weekend?
Nah, that's it's just the book bag drive.
What we do is we couple
hot dogs,
hamburgers for the kids,
little sugar water joints.
Try to have music.
That's homemade Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you know, just get the. Sometimes you see you walking around and you're riding around the community. You always see the kids running around, but you can't never attach a child with a face.
Right.
You know, a lot of us are born and raised in Darby Township, but it's a lot of new people, and what's going on in the communities, everybody's more detached than anything. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you could have got your butt whipped by 3 people before you got home. You know what I'm saying?
Still got that joint at the crib.
And you ready for round 4?
How many times you hear that's so and so's boy right there, that's so and so's girl right there.
Right. Yeah, because the key on our book bag drive, like, the parent got to bring the kid. The parent come over there all she want. Without no kids, you ain't getting no back. And we turned a couple down. You know, we ain't being ignorant, but we want to see the kid. We want to know who you are, who the kid is.
Right.
Get a hot dog, get a burger, get one of them sugar waters, because I don't know how the hell we drunk that water. That juice, them little hugs. It was ice cold. The kids knocked them back. I said, try one.
You know, them little
Croak, they used to call it croak juice.
Hey, them hugs, that's what they are. They little now, real little.
A hug and a honey bun.
But we do.
You know, we got the music over there, and then there's a lot of people that donate too. Like last year,
a lot of donations.
Tamika, her grandma, they all came over with book bags. And
Stephanie Hannah made a good donation.
Stephanie Hannah. You know.
Well, Sports Talk Live for the Culture is gonna give a donation. Just let me know who I need to cash at.
Okay, that's
Ralphie.
It's Ralphie. That's Ralphie. But we also another window with it. It's not just about the youth as well. It's we have our Black Friday, everybody goes out, Thanksgiving, go spend all your money, you broke and whatever. But if you remember, Thanksgiving is the time when a lot of family members come in town. So we have our Blackout Black Friday party, you know, that night. It's awesome. You go out there and get all your turkey.
Last year we kind of dropped the ball. We got to keep it 100.
Yeah, we did.
The location, I think
the location was the problem. We already on a different location this year.
Wait, everything doesn't go perfect. It's the effort. Sometimes there's gonna be some bumps, and that's the whole thing. Like
but we also try to bring
technical
everybody,
difficulties.
not just the kids. We just bring people our group. Like we said, we don't like throwing our party because we don't like dealing with I don't even understand the music. I gotta call my nephews and he's like, "What did they say?"
But yo, that's every generation though. Like,
Can we get some shout outs real quick?
Shout them out. Yeah, shout them out.
We got Mr. Vic Karstarfin joined us, man. Camden High, Temple University, Star. Thanks for joining in. Excuse me. Now into politics. What we got? Coach Roger Lasaf, man. coach, junior college national championship team, 30-0.
What's up?
Thanks for joining in, Miss Monique Gooden, cousin Sylvia Diggs,
Aunt Sylvia,
Mia Lewis Johnson. How are you? It's probably been, I don't know, I want to say we telling our age now, maybe 15, 16 years since I ran into you in Jersey. West Virginia State University alum. Our Mr. Robert Townsend. Yes, if it sounds familiar, it is. Thanks for joining. Producer, director. Big time. Thanks for joining in, brother.
Thank you.
We'll be talking soon. Oh, yeah. Look, everybody's saying 5 heartbeats. We got you, brother. We got you. Mr. Lem Kern, 3HS alum. Denise Moody, another West Virginia State University alum. Jason Reeves down in Hotlanta, down there probably burning up, right? Iron Mike Starks, down in Maryland, alongside New Jersey, holding it down. And my cousin Rhonda Evans, what's up? Damon Plenty joined in. Mr. Bill Morgan and Andy McAlpin. How are you, brother? Thanks for joining.
Well, definitely. And look, fellas, I mean, this has been a tremendous get together.
No doubt.
I do like just the positive energy, the fun in the conversation, the intellect, and get together and express ourselves and give our point of view on topics. I think that's the thing right now, that you have the ability to put your topic, put your spin, and put your thoughts out there in the atmosphere. And like, you can learn. I learn a lot of things every week when I come down here and talk to these brothers, and definitely get that out and see another side that you can sit down, have an intellectual conversation, and put it out there. Because I mean, big sports fan, everybody know coming in all the night and listen to everybody. And I said, look, we got together and said, look, we talk about these topics. You hear people talk on the radios and everything like that, and put their spin on it. But hey, I got an opinion too. I got.
Hey man, listen, for you, my thing is, before you leave, right, and once you put a whole bunch of intelligent people at a table, man, you want to come out of something learning from somebody, you know what I'm saying? Right. And you can be able to take that and give it to the next person, or wherever the case may be. You're gonna learn a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? I never met y'all three guys before here, but I learned something from y'all's whole perspective in an hour since we've been here. So, moving forward, you know what I mean? But there is and I don't know if we can touch up on this topic today, but Miss Veronica J. Woodard wanted to get our take on a gender co-ed basketball team. So I'm thinking that's probably another topic for another show. Because we're going to go into another 2 hours plus.
At what age? You should talk about.
Well, that's some things that we got to, talk to her about to see where she's at with it, and we can probably have a discussion,
She started getting older. That's Pandora's box right there.
I'm not going there. That's what I'm talking about. It's another topic for another show.
Well, that was a 14 and under in Utah. They won the state championship, all-girl football team. But that's why it's coming out. Yeah, they trashed the whole state.
Yeah, but it's going to be another topic. But
listen, who's in Utah?
That's what I was about to say. That was my next question. What's going on in Utah? But like I said, we probably can go here on another topic and just touch that thing up and go all the way through it. We already know.
Like on Duke piggyback, man, just part of our problem, I think, is that not enough people are willing to have a discussion with different opinions. And
because they're gonna feel some type of way once you know what I'm saying.
You can have your opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I certainly have mine, but that doesn't mean that I'm opposed to anybody else's.
You got to agree to disagree.
If I disagree with me, I don't hate you. Like,
that's the thin line, assuming right there.
It's good to get a different view, because you with the Rock Nation things changed my whole life.
They totally different.
Because I came in with it like, man,
I was over here like, last night, I with Duke saying that you changed the outlook on the platform. Like I told you last night, we was in the lot last night. I said, we kind of got the platform. He was like, well, I don't want to take. I said, we're not taking praise, but we have a platform where kids and adults know how to act when they're in our presence. We're no nonsense. They understand and know that.
So that's what I'm saying. You see what I'm going. But as far as the Jay-Z thing, if it comes down to, and I'm confident myself, right? But if the NFL was like, all right, Duke, we want you to take this job, the same job Jay-Z got, right? and they say we want you, I might be like, you know what? Nah, Doc, this ain't for me right now. Right. I'm not the guy. Yeah. Now I would like to probably get involved somewhere, but he's the guy for this type of job. I mean, you know,
and even know both languages.
Even when you think about it, right? Just what y'all do, like Lot B, right? You said, you know, you give out backpacks, but you have rules. You know what I'm saying? So if a parent come without her kids, she's not getting a backpack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Because you have rules. You know what I mean? Now somebody might say, "Oh, that's harsh." You know, she got kids, or you know, but y'all got rules. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So you gotta, you know, sometimes you know you can't make everybody happy with what you do. You know what I mean? And you figure y'all doing a great thing, giving out backpacks and school supplies or whatever to the kids, and doing stuff, giving back to the community. But again, you'll have some people that say, "Oh man, they ain't this, they ain't that, they wouldn't give me one." They know my kid was with his dad, and you know, hey, listen, man, you know.
And then it comes down to percentages sometimes. Like, say for an example, what y'all doing right now, 90% of the people fall in place, 10% got a problem. So now when 50% got a problem,
then you got to reevaluate.
Maybe y'all might be doing something wrong about this. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So sometimes things, you know, they right there for us.
One last thing, man. I've been coming here long enough. I feel like I have the ability to do this. Sunni, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the door is always open Sundays. You know, NFL Sundays. We be sitting right here.
I'm gonna put this out there. We got one for you, based on what we do. Lot B do. Tell like this, please. Go ahead, Ralph. Same place. Go ahead. Same place we have in this book bag drive. Yeah. We got our own little thing every Sunday. You get Eagles games. You got breakfast. You have lunch. But there's different levels to the platform. You know what the platform is. The front level is old heads. In the middle is in-betweeners.
Yeah. Don't go to the 700 because the young fools in the 700 level, we be having like 4 generations over there.
Hey, Sunni, we might have to take them up, man.
You definitely
don't do that. Don't do
that.
700 level is like old vet stadium.
I don't need to be in the 700 level. I'm past the 700 level.
A little bit of advice, right? Because y'all might be caught up in Soon and Doug. Y'all might be caught up in the moment right now. A Dallas Eagles game, don't go to that territory. So don't go there and win.
We can watch any game with a Dallas fan, but Dallas fans are not allowed to watch the Dallas Eagles game with us. We only watch Eagles games. 14 other games to watch. It's 14 other games to watch.
I'm just going off of what I see over in history and what I know.
It's been a while since they beat us, right? So I can understand.
Yeah, you see
what I'm saying? It's been a few years, so I can understand.
It's a while since y'all got some Super Bowls.
Yeah, you right.
We the champs a couple years ago.
Like, know what I say? Diamonds is forever. I said I got 25-year-old diamonds out in my car. You want them?
Yeah.
You want the real? They were different diamonds on it.
But Rob Shorty, where can people go to make a donation for bags?
You can contact myself. You can any member of the lot. You can contact anybody.
Now you guys on Facebook? You got a Facebook page?
We have a Facebook page.
We have a Facebook
page.
Okay.
You can hit any of us individually, and we'll kind of steer you to Ralphie.
Okay.
Don't DM me because I ain't into that
parking lot.
I'm just letting y'all know.
How somebody gonna get information?
Tag me on Facebook or something. Because I don't know how to work that DM stuff.
You're right. We will leave that
another thing. One thing I wanted to do is I want to say thank you.
Yeah, no doubt.
To
you
guys. Appreciate it. And also, we got a lot of small businesses out town that everybody really don't know about, but they do donate.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Mr. Down to enforcement, all that. Okay. One of our big foot soldiers is our old head. Yeah. Kenny Green. He's one of the most powerful. He does his thing for us. He does his thing. He does a lot of footwork for us.
Oh, definitely. And look, maybe we're mobile. So we're stuck. We're
trying to give a shout out.
We mobile.
The shout out. You say it every time you say it.
I give Sunni the shout out. First off, I have to say this. I gotta say that he's number 55 in the program, but he's number 1 in your heart. Sunni Jennings, ladies and gentlemen. Number 55.
Every time you say
listen, you got
podcast.
number 55 on the front of the jersey. jersey number 1 on the back.
That's right. He's number 1 in your hearts, ladies.
Double nickels, man. You want to run the double nickels.
One in your hearts.
But also, we down at Lit Cigar Lounge, August 31st, man. It was Swedesboro, New Jersey, man. We down there.
Keep us posted on that.
We doing the mobile show. We doing the mobile show, man.
We are cigar smoking.
You'll be smoking them August 31st.
Also, September 21st, my church is having a golf outing for those who swing the clubs. Yeah.
I'm going to get Sammy well, he said for those that sing the clubs, not play games on the course.
My man, we going to be like that. This Bagger Vance.
They be on hold for like an hour.
Yeah, we do that too.
I'm sitting in the car like, is this part of the game?
Yeah, this is part of the game.
For 45 minutes. He looking for balls in the crib. He swinging, ain't hitting nothing. I'm like, what the heck?
Hey, man.
It's all good fun.
Yes, sir.
And I'm just riding around the circle on the court in the car like, yeah, y'all ready yet?
Yo, definitely. Lot B Entertainment, always welcome. The doors open.
Thanks, we appreciate it.
Let me know when you're having stuff. I shout it out on the show, definitely. Look for this. You can come back and rewatch it on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live or page, whatever. Definitely come back. See the show. Let everybody come back who missed it every time. It'll be there replayed. We'll also be doing some podcasts. So we'll definitely let you know.
Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back.
I definitely want you back if Ben not shooting. I definitely don't want to see you.
Ben will be shooting.
Fellas, Bushel
we don't want to hear Ralphie. We don't want to hear Ralphie.
Listen, Bushel or Craig, we get that pick, we'll get somebody for that.
You know, I just posted Doc's on that bird mouth the other day.
Yeah, y'all joking like y'all joking.
You know, I just posted that the other day.
Sports Talk Live.
Sports Talk Live. I got Moses here.
Sports Talk Live.
We out. Talk to you.
Peace.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Yeah, that was fun, y'all. That was fun.